Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to New Ambassadors Theater Company. This is LAB46. My name is David Adam Gill. I'm the Artistic Director for New Ambassadors and also the host for this evening. And we have a great lineup for you. We have three playwrights presenting. Eric Eichhorn, who has been here before, presenting this piece. This is another scene in it. We have someone who has acted with us but not presented, Nick Imperato. Say hi, Nick. And then we have Mark Hoffmeyer, who is a company member and has presented and has acted. But I think this is his son, Luke's first time with us. That's Luke right there. And Amanda, this is her first time with us. And is there anyone else that's new? We have actually Laura McLean, who presented as a playwright and is now back as an actor. So welcome everyone in your new roles and being your first time here. A few announcements. New Ambassadors is a 501c3. We're a not-for-profit organization, and any donations that you make. Ben, did you have the links yet?
I don't have the links. You didn't send them in the email. You only
they're at the bottom of the casting.
Ow.
They're all in the same thing. You just need to look. You need to go to the bottom of the Cracker Jack box for the toys, my friend.
I'm
Very good.
Yeah, I just came up with that, and I haven't even had a sip of my beer.
Good.
So we are a 501c3. We any donation that you make is tax deductible. So you can. Ben is going to put up the link for our donation on our webpage.
I don't have the links.
Ben, okay, all right. We'll get to that. Okay, we'll get to that. We are also in the midst of a festival that we filmed in our theater, in our new home at the WET Theater on West 86th Street. We got the plays in there. We got the directors, the actors, our tech crew, and also a film crew to come in and film 6 short plays that are Blurring Boundaries 2021. I'm going to get Ben those links so that he can put everything up in the chat, but on the YouTube side, I'm sorry, Mally Reber will get those up. So you can stream Blurring Boundaries. It's an Eventbrite link, and it's any donation you can make. It could be the smallest donation in the world, it could be the biggest one, and it'll get you a link to the platform as well as a password to get in. And it is worth it. It is fantastic. We've had a lot of great feedback from our audiences, and hopefully you will do that. You will go to the Eventbrite and sign in and view it. It's really phenomenal, the work that we did with it. We're going to just move forward. I'm going to explain the format for our labs for everyone who doesn't know. We have 3 playwrights. They all have 25 minutes to present their piece, read by the fabulous actors who we've asked to be in tonight's lab. And then part of that 25 minutes is a feedback session. And the feedback session is monitored by myself. And there is a link for the feedback if you're on YouTube, where there's a form that you can fill out and give your feedback, and it follows the same line of questions. What are your popcorn moments, the things you liked most, the things that stay with you? Turns of phrases, imagery, what did you like? Second question will be, was there any place that you got confused that you dropped out? The third question is, what within the context of the scene did you like so much that you'd like to see it developed further? And then we also ask the playwrights up front, is there anything that you would like your audiences to focus on? And that will be the first question that we ask the audience to answer the question specifically that the playwright gave us. That is our feedback session. And that's it. We are going to start. Ben, just give me a second and I'll get you that. Miley, if you're listening, can you forward that email to Ben that has the links? And if you don't have it, I may have to take a second before the first piece to go and resend it. First up is Eric Eichhorn, 5 Idaho words. Eric is going to talk a little bit about the piece. He is going to introduce his cast. And is there anything specifically that you'd like your audience to focus on for this segment of the play that you're working on?
I think there's so much that's going to be going on. I think the clarity of the plot line and certainly the clarity of the different roles and the conflicts, that all of that presents itself well.
Okay, great. So
I do not have that email. I just looked through. I don't see them at the bottom of the invitation emails with the strips.
I'm gonna as Eric introduces his cast, I'm gonna disappear for a second, even though I am in his cast. He's gonna introduce the cast and talk about, because this is we're into the play at this point. We're almost towards the end. So why don't you go ahead and do that, Eric, and I'll be right back.
So we are very close to the end of the play, and tonight's scene ties up a variety of conflicts. It takes place on a ranch in Sun Valley, Idaho, that's owned by an uncle who we never see in the play. And it's Rebecca's father. So nobody on the Rebecca side of the ranch has ever earned anything. It's all been given to them. And Dylan, the prodigal nephew, has returned. And Dylan has had a checkered past, certainly. And next door is Zeb Fenster, who also has a ranch right next door. And Dylan, a few years ago, had injured his granddaughter, Charlotte. And the night previous to this scene, they had a bit of a reconciliation in a bar. So we have lots of different agendas, 3 or 4 people in each faction, and it's all playing out tonight. So thank you very much for being here. Our cast tonight, Zeb, as always, will be played by John Austin Wiggins. Larry, as always, will be played by David Michael Kirby. Watkins will be Mark Hoffmeyer. Dylan will be played by Luke Hoffmeyer. Lakina Dorothy will also be referred to at LDOT at various points, will be Amanda Shee. Bennett will be Andrew Griffin. Clint will be, there he is in the corner, David Adam Gill. Mitch will be played by Perrin Pomato. Rebecca, the daughter who has the ranch, will be Laura McLean. And our stage directions this evening will be read by Miley Binion. So thank you very much. Good luck to everyone.
Thank you. Will you just refresh my memory? We are starting, I think you said page 3, so the top of scene 11?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, 5 Idaho Words by Eric Eichhorn. Scene 11, the curtain opens on a bedroom with mid-morning light coming through the large windows. Dylan is sprawled asleep on the bed in boxer shorts and his shirt from the previous evening. An almost empty tequila bottle and a half-full glass are on the nightstand next to him. The antique clock on the wall indicates 9:45. There is a sharp knock on the door from stage left.
Dylan! Dylan, wake up!
Dylan jerks up in bed and quickly surveys the room, finishing on the nightstand, and then looks immediately to the clock. He slams his fist on the bed.
Fuck me, fuck!
Open up and let me in. We need to go to the meeting.
Dylan stumbles to the door and opens it. LDOT recoils.
I totally fucked up. You have to help me.
Oh my God.
Go get some aspirin and the keys to the red truck. They're probably in the drawer under the bar. You know how to drive a truck?
I'm not sure.
Oh, good.
You need a new shirt.
Oh, shit! I have to clean up a little. I'll meet you at the truck in a few minutes.
LDOT leaves and Dylan grabs the glass of tequila and downs it. He heads to the bathroom, stage right, and the sound of running water is heard. Fade to black. A road on top of a hill. Larry, Watkins, and Bennett are pacing in the morning sun. They seem to be on edge as Bennett keeps looking down, stage right.
They are coming, right? I'm sure anything else can go wrong with this deal.
How do you mean, go wrong?
You know what I mean. I'm getting half of what I was at this time yesterday.
Look here, Larry. You had nothing to nothing before I came out here.
And I was fine without it.
Oh, really?
Larry is silent as Bennett fidgets. The sound of a truck coming up the hill, stage right, is heard and becomes louder.
That's them. Who's coming?
Just Clint and Mitch. Want to get all the details agreed on before we have lawyers draw up the papers.
The truck stops and there is the sound of doors opening and closing.
That's weird. There's 4 of them. Russell and some old guys are with them.
Larry and Watkins walk over to Bennett and look with him.
What the hell is Russell doing here?
The hell is the older man?
Zeb Fenster. That's not good.
There's the sound of footsteps approaching from stage right. Watkins waves, and soon after, Zeb, Clint, Russell, and Mitch enter from stage right. Zeb looks at Larry, Bennett, and Watkins and scans the area, exchanging glances with Clint, who appears grim.
A good morning to all of you. Is everyone?
Hard to believe it. These are the best and the brightest.
Heard you were running for office.
Heard you were running for office.
Just doing my part.
It's very fine of you.
Zeb, I just want to say,
This ain't the time nor the place. This is business.
It is all business this morning. Why don't we walk to the site?
why do we need to walk the site? We got drawings of every inch of land.
I agree. Let's get going.
All right. But I need to piss first.
Clint walks off stage right and the sound of footsteps is heard.
You don't have to walk a mile away. We're not looking.
Larry turns to Russell.
What are you doing here? I need you to supervise the bailing.
Russell.
Deb asked me to come.
Well, I'm asking you to go. I need you to supervise the bailing.
I gave clear instructions. The men have done it many times.
They're doing what I pay you to do.
I think you mean what your father-in-law is paying him to do. I want Russell to be here.
Ha! Damn it, Clint! Shake it and get back here. Not doing Idaho time today.
Is being here a problem for you, Mr. Watkins? Our money does seem to interest you.
No, I'm sorry. Just used to New York time.
We'll get you back there as soon as we can.
Clint comes back from the bushes and looks over the ridge down the road before walking back to the group.
You want me to lay out the drawings on the rock ledge over there?
Sure, we can get familiar with the plan.
I was familiar with the plan, and I liked it. Then it changed.
Well, they say change is good.
I think they mean personal growth, not stealing.
Your family knows all about stealing.
That wasn't my family.
Doubt Becky would want to hear that.
Enough. What's done is done. Today's business is today's business.
They walk over to the rock ledge and Mitch and Clint lay out the plans. Larry studies them and turns to Bennett.
Is this what you saw yesterday?
Looks like it.
Yes or no?
Yes.
You can see the shift in the. You can see the shift in the road over on Zeb's land.
Yeah, I see it. I can also see the shift in money.
It's a fair deal. You're still getting 200 grand. Bennett liked it.
Don't speak for me or my son, Watkins. You don't care about anything but the money.
I suspect that's why we're all here.
So this is it. The final offer that you want me to sign.
Larry looks at the plan and then looks off in the distance before he turns to Watkins.
I don't care what Zeb gets, but I want my full 300 grand. I'm going to have to look at these homes every day.
I don't think you have a choice of deals.
I think I do.
Before Watkins can reply, the sound of a truck approaching rapidly can be heard. Bennett hustles to the edge of the ridge and looks down the road. He seems stunned as he turns back to the group.
It's our red truck.
Wonder who that could be.
Bennett turns back to look down the hill as the truck slides to a stop on the gravel below and doors quickly open and slam.
Shit.
Who is it?
Rebecca, L. Dot, and goddamn Dylan.
Put the plans away.
There a problem, Larry? Kind of want to get this wrapped.
Rebecca enters first from stage right, followed quickly by LDOT, and they approach the group. Dylan arrives a few minutes later. He is disheveled and sweating.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Mr. Fenster,
Good morning, Becky.
I want to know what this meeting is about.
Just a business discussion.
What business?
Just about building some homes here. Larry didn't tell you?
No homes are going on the ranch.
Stay out of this, Dylan. Speak when you're not drunk.
Don't talk to him like that.
Fuck you, Larry.
Let's talk about this in a civilized fashion.
I am not negotiating with this raging alcoholic.
Larry, what Dylan struggles with is a disease. What you struggle with is that you are not a nice man.
As Zeb speaks, Clint, Mitch, and Russell slowly move around him as if on cue.
Mr. Fenster, do you know what's going on?
We are making money for the ranch, like we talked about.
These gentlemen are inclined to put new homes on your ranch.
That's what Dylan told me. When did you hear me say I would allow new homes on the ranch?
Signed for it.
You're in a really deep hole, Larry. Don't make it deeper. I never signed anything.
You signed a document that authorized me to seek development, including homes. There's plenty of land.
That was never explained to me.
That sounds like false pretense. Bad crime. I have that class in the fall.
You're going to be a badass attorney.
Stay out of this, Dylan.
Fuck you, Larry.
That's enough. I should probably update the discussion.
About what? You're getting a road and lots of money.
Mr. Watkins.
It's right. Watkins right.
Sure. Mr. Wright. Where do you assume that we are right now?
Some corner of Larry's ranch.
Becky's ranch. And you guessed wrong.
I'll handle this. A little while ago, I was contracted to receive this land, the land that we're standing on.
Not a chance. We're nowhere near your ranch. This is our ranch.
My ranch. Mr. Fenster, I don't remember signing anything or talking about this.
Oh, you didn't have to. Your daddy handled the contract.
Oh, how much do you own?
About a quarter. The length of what borders my ranch.
Including this hill. Sayonara, new homes.
Jesus.
Why didn't you just tell us?
You didn't ask, Mr. Wright. Learned about your plans last night. I guess you can go home now.
You knew about this?
Learned about it last night.
Dylan learned about it last night, too. That's why we're here.
There's a little bit more to the story.
What?
I'm not the only one who has a new piece of the ranch.
I'm positive we didn't sell anything, Rebecca.
No, we didn't sell anything of mine, but I only have half.
What's going on here? Is your dad losing it?
Actually, I think my dad is thinking more clearly than ever.
Okay, I give. Who has a piece of the ranch?
That would be Dylan. He has a quarter.
No way. Rebecca's dad is smarter than that. Is this true? Did you know about it?
Mr. Fenster is a man of his word. No reason to doubt him.
To help you with the math, Larry, Zeb's quarter and my quarter equals 1/2.
Or try this on, Larry. Every time you sit on the couch, Zeb and Dylan own half of it. Every time you swim in the pool, Zeb and Dylan own half the water. Hell, every time you crap, Zeb and Dylan own half the toilet.
Rebecca, we need to talk back at the house.
Don't worry, we will.
Larry, Bennett, and Watkins exit stage right as Clint stretches.
Well, I think that wraps up a nice morning. I believe we can head out.
Go ahead. I'll be down in a few minutes. Becky, Can I have a word with you?
Clint, Russell, Mitch, Dylan, and L. exit stage right.
What do you want to talk about?
You handled yourself very well in difficult circumstances. You have a lot of challenges ahead of you.
Thank you. I do have a lot ahead of me.
Becky, why don't you and Dylan come over tonight for drinks and dinner? Charlotte will join us, and heck, I'll even see if Cassie will swing by.
Are you sure that's okay?
It's time for it to be okay. Come at 6.
Fade to black. End of scene.
Right. Yeah. The homes, the development works really well, playwright Eric. All right, so let us talk about this. I forgot to turn on the timer. Oh well. Let's talk about this. The question that you had, Eric, was with clarity.
Yeah, just being able to follow what was going on.
So, and for those of you who haven't been here before, just raise your hand. Was it easy to follow? For those of you who don't know this piece, I guess it'd be very telling with your opinion. Go ahead, Luke.
My first read of it, being an actor in it, it took me a minute. But once all the players were on their chessboard, so to speak, then I got what was at stake and like who was on which side and what was changed. So then I was able to follow it easily.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anyone else? A lot of moving pieces. Go ahead. I keep on wanting to calling you by your character names, Amanda.
Yeah, I needed that setup though that you gave us, because reading it the first time I was like, what's happening? But that's because it's the end of the play, so that totally makes sense. But once I knew it, it was very clear what was happening.
Good. Anyone else? Go ahead, police officer Laura.
I think the dialogue was so great in that it was very everyday Midwestern, but it gave us just enough information so that it was casual dialogue between them, but there was also enough tension that you knew something big was happening. I loved the pace of it. It just made sense for where the story is placed. And it just raised the tension, especially when the car came by. You could just see the car come by. They're like, "Oh shit, who's that?" You know, put the papers away. It was very clear what was happening, and I was interested in finding out more. So I enjoyed it.
I agree. Anyone else? For those of you who know this piece, but he changed the cell tower to homes. How did that work out for you guys?
Great. I mean, cell tower was fine too, but you know, the homes is really personal. And so it really brought it home because, you know, you can see what these people have at stake with their land, you know, and I love the confrontation when it becomes, that's my ranch. No, it's my ranch. It's just so evocative of West, you know, it just has that real grit and all these characters just come to life. And I love this piece, Eric. I think your changes have been really well done. Yeah.
David? I thought you raised your hand, no?
Oh, no. He kind of said it, but I like homes or cell towers, but there's something about homes because it's not just a structure on your property, it's people.
It's an expanse. It's much bigger.
And yeah, I think it can be a little more personal.
Yeah. Zed Fenster, why don't you weigh in here?
No, just to piggyback on that, when he says when he says the line about having to look at them, that was a really hit. To be able to look out on what had previously been this open expanse and then see a whole development of homes would be just earth-shattering for someone who has lived there their whole life, you know, and used to that landscape. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think the stakes were raised
Yeah.
exponentially because of the fact that it's not just this tower, but it's a whole ugly eyesore of a different color.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to regular questions then. What were the popcorn moments for you guys? Some of you mentioned the dialogue, the pace, which I agree with. It just moves so nicely. Things that stay with you, imagery, turns of phrases, anything?
I'll start. Yeah, I think the dialogue is gritty. It has real texture. I know who these characters are immediately by the first time they speak, and I love the tension between them, and the conflicts are clear. The conflicts are very clear. So I just very evocative was what I said before, and it just brings to life this Western, like OK Corral, it's like, and I think like Laura said, when the truck pulls up, it's like, uh-oh, who are these guys? Yeah.
For me, I had two moments. One is only because I know this a little, and the fact that Clint keeps on stalling because he knows that Dylan is supposed to show up. He just doesn't know when irresponsible Dylan will show up. So he goes to take a piss, and he takes a really long time doing that. And then he says, "Yeah, let's look at the plans, and let's do this, and let's do that." And he keeps on glancing down the road. And I like that. This piece, for some reason, what pops into my head is a mixture. I know you all know King Lear, but 1,000 Acres as well, where the land was everything, and who owns the land, and who is going to get the land. I just have that, it evokes that in me. And and that's the reason for me, the thing that I love in my ranch, Rebecca's ranch, every time you take a crap, every time you go into the pool, these people will own a part of that. I love that. I love the way it's expressed. Anyone else? Yes, Laura.
I'm not sure if this is a popcorn moment, but there was a popcorn character for me in that I liked Zeb a lot. I felt like he's got such substance, and he understands that what's at stake here and what needs to happen. I feel like he's making it safe for this land, and he recognizes that there's a rift between the two families that they need to now solve and move on. And I really like that character, and I mean I love how it was acted as well. But it was like a fatherly kind of way that he was handling this, and yet there was nothing getting past him, and I really liked that about him.
Yeah.
He just appeared in the scene prior to this, Laura.
Okay.
So he really just entered the play, but in writing it, he's just taken over the whole play.
Well, yes, that's what it seems like. But he's a good guy, so that's great. He's kind of to the rescue,
And John is perfect in the role, so.
Any other popcorn moments? Was there anything where you tuned out, where you got a little lost? David.
For me, the only thing I kind of had a hard time, because we weren't always reading those stage directions, who is looking at who. And so when we would speak to somebody else or turn to somebody else, it's not, unless, we were saying the name, which I did once. Hard to know who things were being addressed to. But that's Zoom. On stage, it'd be very clear.
Yeah, I had told Miley to just, if it was less than 4 words, not to read it, just to keep the flow.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And just to be clear, Watkins was not supposed to be in Dylan's bedroom in the first scene there. Looming over.
That's funny.
I thought it was funny. You're like watching over your son acting.
Right. Right.
Was there anything, and this is a tricky one because the play does come from somewhere and it goes somewhere else, but within the context of this scene, was there anything further that you'd like to see, that you thought you would like to see developed? Meaning, was there something within the scene And personally, I'd answer that question with a little bit more of letting us know that Clint is that he is wasting time. Right now, it's just within him. But does he say something to Zeb and Zeb just says, relax or whatever, just to give a little bit more of the feeling that something is going to happen and they're waiting on it. It's impending. Anything else? Any guys? All right. Well done, Eric. Again, this piece is really quite wonderful, and your characters and your dialogue, and I agree with Laura. The pace, because the dialogue is such that it moves very quickly, and because the characters are so solid and their voices are so unique to themselves, you don't get lost in anything. You follow along pretty easily. And for a scene like this, which everything is building up to a climax, that's exactly what you need. So bravo.
Thank you to the cast.
Right. We are going to move on to Nick Imperato's piece. Nick, I know that you had sent me just today, but why don't you reiterate the things that you're looking for your audience to pay attention to?
Yeah, sure, of course. So with this scene, a lot that comes up in this play is because it is in a metaphysical setting. There's a lot of established rules and set dressing and a lot of exposition that has to be kind of weaved into the narrative. So if there's any one thing that we could maybe focus on is just to see maybe if it's too much or not clear or confusing or just right. That's like the one thing I would say to not muddy, to look for.
Okay, great. So we will all pay attention to that. I just want to reiterate, and Mally Reber, our company stage manager, is on YouTube and she's posting links, and Ben Dworken is on Zoom in the chat, and they are posting right now the link for feedback. Again, if you're in YouTube and you have a strong opinion or you were moved or felt as though you wanted to express something about the play, hey, here's your opportunity. There is a link to a form that has the same questions, and it also has an extra space for other comments, and that goes directly to the playwrights. So this is a really important part of play development, and your input is essential. So please do that. All those, the link is going into the chat in both Zoom and YouTube, and I'm going to turn it over now to Nick to introduce his cast, and we will move forward.
All right, so the roles are as read here. So the role of Evelyn will be played by Amanda Sheet. The role of Ernest will be played by Luke Hoffmeyer. The role of Bevel will be played by Andrew Griffin, and stage directions will be played by Miley Binion.
Okay. Make yourself at home, Nick Imperato. Enter Ernest. Lights up dimly. The space resembles a storage unit of sorts. Piles and piles of suitcases strewn about. Unlabeled boxes, strewn objects thrown all over the place. It should appear as though the space stretches on endlessly. Amber light softly illuminating spots, making plenty of room for shadows in between the bright circles on the floor. Bevel enters with Evelyn.
Well, this is the place I was talking about. It's not exactly the most attractive recreational activity.
This is what they've compromised on? It's not much different from where I was being held.
I know. This was the only clearance I could barter out of management to relieve you and allow you to come out, under the condition that you do not interact with any facility members.
It's not like there were any on the way over here. Bevel, it looked like a house. Where was the machinery, equipment?
You can stay here as long as you want until I come get you.
Bevel, are you going to answer my questions?
I can't. I'm not allowed to discuss anything further.
Let me guess. It's classified information.
Yes and no.
Ellen gives Bevel a suspicious look. He manages to pantomime to her unvoiced, "They're listening to us."
I'm sure you understand.
No. But I guess I don't get a choice.
Right then. I'll see you later.
He stands there awkwardly, not knowing how to end the conversation. He exits. In a few seconds, we hear a lock turn.
Bullshit.
After a moment, she gives in and rolls up her sleeves to organize. A mix of rearrangement and moving boxes out of sight. She empties the contents of one box, tchotchkes, useless objects that might have had sentimental value at one time, now thrown away. Among them is a plain, shabby cardboard box. The box begins to nudge a little. Something is moving inside. Or is it just the box that's moving? Evelyn doesn't notice. The box moves ever so slightly, inch by inch, until we hear a disembodied voice.
Hey.
Evelyn perks up, startled.
Bevel? Is that you?
She turns to investigate and exits briefly off stage. The same disembodied voice lets out an agitated sigh. Evelyn returns, confused. She slowly shrugs it off and continues her work. The box moves closer to her now, faster this time. She still does not notice.
Hey!
All right, I heard you. Bevel? Bevel, where are you? This isn't funny.
She begins inspecting the surrounding area, looking for the hidden prankster. The box begins to follow behind her slightly.
Are you really that blind? No wonder he left you down here.
Evelyn turns around slowly, still not noticing the box.
Hello?
Over here. Can't you see me?
Evelyn stays in place, the box directly in front of her now, her eyes skirting all areas of the room.
Please just come out.
Oh, honey. Thank God you're pretty. I'm right in front of your face. Look down.
Evelyn gazes down at the box. It moves slightly forward, followed by a sharp
boo.
The box moves more casually now. Evelyn slowly creeps out of her hiding place, cautious.
What are you?
I'm a haunted box. You pissed off the wrong people upstairs, and I'm here to settle it. Any last thoughts? Prayers? Actually, I don't give a damn. Come here.
The box slowly, ever so slowly, shimmies its way towards Evelyn. It's apparent that this box is non-lethal. She doesn't budge. She makes a bold move and tries to stomp on it.
No, I'm just kidding. A joke. You get it? No hard feelings. You can't blame me. Huh? You're an easy fright. I would have kept it going longer, but I don't have the patience to play with my food. Got a good laugh out of it, though. Fool me once.
You're pretty threatening for a piece of cardboard.
Guess you aren't much of a sap as I might have thought. Name's Ernest.
Ernest, I'm...
Evelyn. Yeah, I know. I'm nosy.
Right. How long have you been watching me?
Ew. Make it sound like I'm some perv. Don't flatter yourself. I'm just plain nosy, like I said. Man, look at all this stuff. Tisk. What a shame. Bigger boom. Guess another one bit the dust. Hey. You throw you down here too?
Well, no, not... I'm helping. So this is where you live?
Home sweet home. Have to work with what you got. You make do. I've been here so long that I got catnip buried in the walls.
Catnip?
Yeah, catnip. Why, you want some?
No, I don't want any catnip. Catnip? Why catnip?
Why catnip? Why? Why not?
No, I mean, because you're a box or a... Wait, I'm sorry. What are you exactly?
I ain't a box. I'm a cat.
A cat.
Yeah.
A talking cat
Yeah.
in a box.
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
What? No. No problem at all.
Good.
Yep. No problem at all.
Hey, none of this stuff I haven't been able to hold a conversation. You're a breath of fresh air.
So what is this place exactly?
It's a depository. This is usually the last place you see things before they disappear. Clothing tastes, music, preferences, pet peeves, ice cream flavors, you name it.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Pet peeves? Ice cream flavors? How can those disappear?
What do you mean? They disappear. Poof, like vanish. Done for. They go away and never come back.
I know what disappear means. What I'm saying is that's not possible. None of those things you talked about are like physical, like you or I, or I mean me, physical like me. They're
I'm physical. I got a body under here. Rude. Anyway, I'm surprised you're still around. He usually gets rid of things quick. He's some piece of work, that one. Let me tell you, he hates piling up. He's a stick in the mud. Bevel, I've been avoiding him for years.
She goes to sit down, contemplates. The box approaches on a side.
Wow. It's nice to finally have some frickin' company down here, for once. It gets lonely. It does. But you get used to it. Got to keep your mind busy from all the monotony. It's a mind killer. I'm sorry. Is that too much? I hope I ain't being too forward in anything. It's just nice to talk to someone, you know? I mean...
I barely understood any of the things you just said, whether it was what you were saying or how you were saying it.
Oh, all right then. I'll explain again.
No, please don't. I need to. Would you please answer me this about me being here? You were saying he gets rid of things, Bevel.
What about him?
If Bevel put me down here, does that mean?
I don't know. You tell me. If you ask me, you're too pretty to be down here.
I'm not sure if that's the case.
I'm sure if you asked, he'd tell you.
Thanks, Ernest. If that is, you're real, but honestly, my brain is running a mile a minute trying to comprehend literally anything, and I think I don't even know who I am. I'm being kept under quarantine by this facility upstairs that looks nothing like what someone would use to describe a facility. And Bevel, he's lying to me. Nothing makes sense. I'm being kept in the dark, and my memory's gone. But Bevel, at the same time, in this weird, revolting way, Bevel is the only thing that has given me peace, but he's the one keeping me locked up. I don't trust him at all, and I don't want to feel any sort of gratitude towards him. It almost feels like someone put those feelings there. So I don't have a piece of me that I know is mine. I thought saying these things would make me feel better.
At least you said it out loud.
Doesn't make it any less wretched.
That's a lot to unpack.
Evelyn is on the verge of losing her patience, on the verge of tears and rage. Maybe both.
I ain't sure what you're doing down here, or who you are, or where you came from, but I do know this. About what you said about Bevel. No one wants the pig to know they're about to be bacon. We can't all be Zuckerman's famous pig.
Zuckerman's famous pig?
You know, the pig from the farm, Wilbur.
No. What?
Charlotte's Web, the movie with the talking animals. Oh, jeez. You're about to be mincemeat, and you never even saw Charlotte's Web.
And gets up and starts to pace viciously.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. It's a really good movie.
No, that's not it. That's not what about. It's not about that at all. It's not about Charlotte's Web. I'm afraid that I'm going to go away and never come back when I can't remember who I am or where I am or what I've lost. I'm being held captive and now I've been left to rot in some dump with a stupid fucking talking cat in a cardboard box. What if there are people who care about me looking for me or people I care about? I'm afraid I'm about to lose everything and I don't even know what that everything is.
She starts throwing some boxes around in frustration. The room shakes and the lights flicker just as she did previously with Bevel.
You got some muscles to make that happen.
Wait, you saw that too, right?
Yeah.
That was me. That was me, right? Don't you think?
What else could it have been? Definitely not me. That's for sure.
Another lie.
So, would you say that he's the one in your way?
He is.
That makes two of us.
Two of us.
Yeah, he's the death of me. I stay hidden and just pretend I'm new junk every time he gets suspicious. What'd I do to get out of here? I've been looking to see what's outside of this place for a long time. It's hard to keep yourself occupied when you got too much time on your hands. Monotony, I tell you, mind killer.
Where were you before you ended up here?
You know, no one's ever asked me that. Because no one's
ever been down here? Yes, I know, Ernest.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. Continue.
I'm not really sure where I came from. At least I can't remember. That's another thing that happens when you're down here for too long. You see, this place is hallowed ground.
Hallowed? Like sacred?
Nah, the other one. Kind of like separate.
That's not what hallowed means.
It's an in-between place, between what we know and where we're trying to go. Obviously, I don't want to go wherever's next, same as you. So I've managed to delay that. What I've come to know is that the more you stay here, the more hazy things get. It's kind of like you start losing yourself.
I can't afford to stay here then.
I mean, I'm not even sure who I am now. Is what I was. Monotony, I tell you.
Mind killer.
I like you. You're smart.
Thank you, Ernest.
You're welcome.
Well then, what do you say we get out of here?
Sure.
Wait, what?
I'm in.
That easy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you tried to before?
Yeah, I've tried. Obviously, you can see how that worked out. I don't like to talk about it because I'm self-conscious, but I can't really leave this box. So that's
makes things difficult, I imagine.
And you know, the whole opposable thumbs thing. The worst. It's true. It is. Let me tell you. All right. Let's vamoose.
Wait. How do I know I can trust you?
Got any other options?
Good point.
You got the thumbs, and I got the moxie. I'll be the brains, and you be the brawn. Or you got the moxie because we both got moxie. And
all right, buddy. You got it. Deal.
Let's blow this joint. I got an idea.
Where? Which direction?
Anywhere but here. Come on, pick me up. I'll show you.
Evelyn gracefully picks up Ernest's box. They traverse off stage. End of scene.
Wow. Well done. Well done, guys. That was just so wonderful.
It was so hard not to laugh being unmuted.
I know. Ernest the cat. Wow.
Ernest the cat. Forget about it.
You got me seeing a cat. Okay.
Forget about it. Fritz the cat, man. Wow.
First question that we're going to go with was Nick wanted to know, was there too much exposition? Was it not clear? Was it confusing? I'm going to nix both those ideas because it's character driven and it's dialogue driven, and I might not have tuned in as quickly as to what it was about, but we eventually get there, and what that's what theater's about, is challenging your audience and getting them to understand your message. I thought it was wonderful. Anyone else want to answer that question? Too much exposition, not clear, confusing at all? All right.
No, I thought what. Oh,
I was
Go
just saying,
ahead.
I just thought it was astonishingly clear.
Yeah.
Following the conversation along, the story. I was just delighted the whole time.
I agree. I had questions about where we were, but it was the good kind of questions, the ones you're waiting excited for them to unravel and answer, not confused about, and not too much exposition. I felt like you kind of jumped right into the action as soon as the box starts moving.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I think in terms of setting up a scene, sometimes you need to do that. You need to basically establish the world, show us where we are, maybe not tell us why we're there, because that's what the play is about. But you need to make those things clear so that when we take the journey with your characters, that's something that we can check off our list. I'm going to start with my popcorn moments because there are quite a few. I love the cat in the box. I love the fur ball moment. I thought that was great. Zuckerman's famous pig. It made me so happy that you brought up Wilbur. And I'm not sure when Ernest says I'm self-conscious, it really like hit me hard because they're both self-conscious in a place where their self is fading, they're disappearing because they're memories. So I thought that particular comment by Ernest was very, very clever and double
entendre.
Was a double entendre. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. My mom is going through dementia right now. So her memories of like what happened 5 minutes ago are gone. But there's a time where Evelyn and Ernest will live again in someone who has that long-term memory that, she keeps on talking about her childhood and about this, that, and the other thing. And I feel as though listening to the play, that's what popped into my head because it's like right in front of my face when they're like, we're not sure who I am or whatnot, and this is going to be the end. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. When Bevel is 93 and he's remembering his past, you guys will have life again. It was so good. Popcorn moments, people.
Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know that's effective because when I wrote that, I was like, I wonder if this will land. So I'm glad to know that that's landing.
Hilarious.
I'm muted. I was going to agree, definitely landed. And this is kind of one of the popcorn moments David talked about, but that's subverting because I was really convinced that it was a talking box, that it was a sentient box. And so that subvert and that flip when you find out it's a cat in a box is just great.
But so I have a question about that because if she didn't see the cat in the box, how much of the cat is left and how much of the memory is just of the cat being in the box? So Ernest might feel as though he's still there, but the memory is of Ernest in the box. So the box is Ernest.
It's very paradoxical, and you've brought up some questions I had never even considered because I have my own ideas about Ernest, but everything that you've asked is kind of what he's supposed to evoke in just being the fact that he is this cat in a box is like, okay, well, you never see him, and obviously like we're all thinking of Schrodinger's cat, and this like gets kind of like woven into the narrative, and like he did like from his arc, like it is not resolved, it never is resolved. I mean, that's kind of the point, but those kind of questions and the feelings you get is of course like from this idea that like you kind of just have to take his word for it, and like you're questioning the whole time what really is in the box. Is it a bot? Is it a cat? Is it a person? What stage of a cat? Is it long gone? Is it still there? Is he actually physically there? And that's the whole point of him, is just he's just questions.
Right. More. Anyone else? I see some things on Laura's mind. You're muted.
Yep, it'll happen. I love the mention of the catnip stuffed walls as the first clue as to his identity, that he's actually a cat. I did have the thought that perhaps that they were in between, rather than memories, but in between life and afterlife. I thought that that was a possibility, and I kept waiting for him to mention. He said, "I've been here a long time." I kept waiting for him to mention that 9, as a matter of fact, but then I realized, that it's actually that he's been here a long time because he was a memory a long time ago. Yeah, I liked the back and forth, and I thought that he was a very sweet, supportive character for somebody who's just starting to grapple with what her meaning is there in that room, which is nice.
Thank you. Yeah, the purpose of the character, like originally in earlier drafts of this, that the character of Evelyn, she's a tricky one, and he came about because she really needed a companion. So yeah. I'm glad that reads, because that's kind of, just like the introductory of him is just a whole thing, but just like the fact that they pair up together, it's kind of an unlikely duo sort of thing.
You've also, in terms of exposition, you've also, you have this brilliant thing happening where you have a new character or a new memory that's fading that doesn't know, and you have an established character or an older character who's been there. So one has questions and one can explain, and therefore the audience is getting this information. So the exposition is really, it's active is what I call it.
Yeah.
So that as a character is learning something, so is the audience.
Right.
And that's the best way for exposition. I have some of my students nodding their heads. That's the best way for exposition to work, is if another character is learning it and another character is explaining it, and then the audience is getting it because we're listening in.
Right.
Yes, Laura, go ahead.
I just as you were talking, it would be interesting if somebody else popped in. Just were you thinking about that?
Into the scene.
Yeah, it could be funny. Just
would you be surprised to learn that it's actually a 4-character play?
Oh.
It's very small. But I've never considered that. It would be interesting. Maybe that idea does pike me. I'm gonna write that down.
Okay. Great.
So
a few popcorn moments for me.
Yes, please, Ernest, go ahead.
Ernest is a very fun character to play. I had a great time, but
and he's from Brooklyn. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? But there's a wonderful moment of dramatic synthesis that occurs where they both realize, wait a minute, we both have a problem with this guy Bevel, and we can work together. And for me, that's literally, it feels like a popcorn movie moment of these two characters like working together, and they're going to do something. And I also love that he agrees to leave with her right away. It's like, yeah, no, I'm with you. There's no convincing.
Because they both assume that the other one knows how to do it.
Yeah. And I also love, I think it's very endearing that he's like, I got an idea, and then we never hear what the idea is. Yeah.
Well, we can go a little longer. Anything else? So middle question, what, before we get to, because Laura already brought up a developed further thing. What if we dropped what if Nick dropped another character in there? How would the other two characters react? What would the negotiation be? But was there anything where you dropped out, where you were confused? I think we
No, but I kept waiting for Bevel to return. I thought,
yeah, me too.
Where's Bevel? He's going to come back. But anyway, it was anticipated, which is good.
Waiting for Bevel.
Does or doesn't.
Waiting for Bevel.
Waiting for Bevel.
Waiting for Bevel. But, because it had that, I don't know, Beckett kind of feel anyway. And it just, but not that he has to. I'm just saying that it's good to anticipate perhaps somebody's going to come back and doesn't. Anyway.
So yeah, okay, that's interesting. So if someone is going to come in and interrupt and catch them, the stakes are raised. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It would,
That's interesting. I kind of like that idea. I like wanted to give them time and like have it
Yeah.
be that the stakes be a little lower, but that does raise the stakes a little bit of like what happens if they are interrupted.
You know.
That's helpful. Thank you.
The fear of Bevel returning.
Right, because clearly like they're like not like staging a coup, but like clearly
Right.
like these two people like have shared objectives that are also like antithesis to probably what this other character obviously is planning and like hiding many secrets. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Eric.
Yeah, I agree. That's the same thing I was thinking about with Bevel, because I love the opening so much. And I love the way that Andrew had done the character, that I just thought he was hovering, and then, was just sort of going to try and pull these things back. And then he was gone. So I would have loved to have the specter was still there, but just to kind of make it more of a ominous sort of threat.
Right, like a little more tension.
Yeah, because I love the character. So.
Right.
Because I mean, in the way that I understand it, they do belong to him, in a way. It's so funny. I loved that Eveline knew that she had a life beyond herself, but she didn't know what it was because Bevel only knows a certain part of her. So he might not have known the other things that make her a solid three-dimensional thing. I really like that. Anything else, guys? Big Al, you got any comments there, Big Al? Go ahead, Arnie.
Yeah. So there was that little hint at the beginning with Bevel where he's like, we're being listened to, or, and I mean, that had me intrigued, and but it didn't show up again. So I don't know if that's something you can play with, or if that's just Bevel playing with her, or maybe you don't have to tell us. So, but it did raise a question for me.
Amanda, go ahead.
Something that struck me was how she said, like, I feel like this way about him, but it doesn't feel like it was my idea. It was like implanted. So that's something I was like, oh, what else is like, because how there's like ideas maybe that like men put on their partners, that like what other aspects or behavior can she exhibit later that like she's like, that's not
mine.
That's not mine. Yeah.
The other thing that I thought might be interesting is, why does Bevel want them to go away?
Right.
They're obviously there for a reason. If he wanted to keep them alive, he could, but he's putting them in a place where they will disappear. And if they do make noise, as she did, she did something in the lights and everything. Was that her memory being conjured back up? And was it in Bevel's mind? Did she become present?
I think that's a great question. And I think that kind of also correlates to the fact that they both witnessed the event and they know that it's significant, and like clearly it caused a disturbance. So that
they're way out.
Yeah. Also, just like what we were talking about before, that maybe like someone popping in and being like, oh, like, what was that? Are y'all okay? Like, who, maybe Bevel comes back to check in, because I think it's already established previously that like he witnesses that and takes note of it. So that actually may be that's actually very, very helpful. So I'm glad you said that.
All right, Miley, you, and then we have to move on.
This is just, it's kind of differing from everyone else, but I honestly liked the fact that he didn't show back up, because for me, it gave the tension, because I was expecting it, that I was just waiting every time they were going to make their big break. I was just waiting for him to come in. And so that actually kept a lot of tension in the scene for me, because I felt like they were doing a jailbreak where someone was possibly listening and could come in at any moment. And so I thought it was interesting.
Got it.
So I actually have a comment about that. That's how you felt. They never they never said anything about, what if he comes back?
That's true.
That wasn't on their shoulders. So if he doesn't come back, is there a way for us as an audience to understand that is something that might happen, and that it's affecting the pace at which they do something or whatever?
That's very true. It might have been because I was reading the stage directions about their listening to us. And so it was very in my head, and it didn't even occur to me that it wasn't registering for other people.
Okay, excellent. We have to move on. Ben, you're going to put the link for the feedback form into.
Yep, I will.
Okay, and Maui will do it on YouTube. Really great work, Nick. I hope you come back with more of it. And excellent reading, guys. That was really wonderful.
Yeah, you guys are fabulous. Thank you.
I hope this helped. Yeah. So we're gonna have Luke's dad come on up. We're gonna have Mark Hoffmeyer, and he is going to talk about this piece.
Never seen him before in my life. I have
Give us a little. This particular piece is interesting in the way that it is a one of, but it's part of a larger piece. So why don't you talk about that a little, and then introduce your cast? Sure.
This is the fourth of 4 pieces that didn't start out that, but it evolved of a theme-based play, but each scene is separate, and this is the fourth one. It turns out that each of the 4 has a quartet. Each of the 4 has playing cards involved. Each of the 4 has someone has some kind of ailment or infirmity. There were repeating themes, but there was a backdrop for all 4 and an event in 1984. So I didn't know whether to call it 1984 Redux or call it Quartet or whatever, but it is 1984. Each of these 4 pieces takes place in and has as its backdrop one of several events, but a very, very important event that was influencing everyone at that time.
And you'll find out about it as we read it.
Right. So
is there anything particular that you would like us to pay attention to as your audience for feedback?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Do you follow? Is it entertaining? And also, would it pique your interest to want to know what the other 3 are?
Okay.
All right. So we have a terrific cast. I'm going to mention our wonderful players who come on at the end instead of saving them for last. Amanda Shee is going to be our YMCA manager. Laura McLean is going to play our policewoman officer. And the very versatile Andrew Griffin is going to play a doctor and also the YMCA security guard. Okay, so you will see them later. Our 4 weightlifters are Big Al is Perrin Pomado. Louis Salami Arms is David Michael Kirby. Arnie the Rat is John Austin Wiggins. And Richie Movies is David Adam Gill. And our stage directions are read by the wonderful Miley Binion. So without further ado.
A tragic flaw. Setting, the weight room of an inner city YMCA. Dusty, graffiti on the walls, smells of sweat and body odor. Crowded, sounds of heavy weights banging the floor. One Saturday in March 1984. Throughout the dialogue, characters lift weights and pause between sets.
Who opened the windows?
I did. It stinks in here and it's hot.
You're supposed to sweat. That's the point. Am I right, Lou?
Don't take much to make me sweat.
Richie Royds, it's too hot in here, right?
Look at me, I'm dripping.
Richard, enough with your biceps, man. Work the legs.
Nah, he's getting ready for his next starring role, right, Royds?
Why do you call him that, Arnie?
Just leave the man's butthole alone.
Well, Louis, I have these nasty...
No, please, don't describe them again. It's disgusting.
What's so disgusting about swollen veins in your anus pushing out and...
Oh, yeah, I got those too, Rich. Driving the truck all day long, sitting on my ass.
Yeah, you probably never get to take a dump. Am I right?
Thank God for Preparation H. I figured out how to apply it while I'm driving.
Can you guys elevate the discussion, please?
Oh, you don't get roids? You can't tell me you lift the weight you do and not have hemorrhoids. Everybody in the gym can hear you grunt.
Don't embarrass him, Arn.
Good thing he's a little runt, or I'd paper the wall with him. Somebody give me a spot here.
I got your back, big guy. What are you squatting here? Mamma
If
mia!
I squat 480 today, I'm looking at 500 next week.
Believe this guy? You must have roids.
Hey, you two can go to the proctologist together, huh?
Outdated word, rat. Correct terminology is colorectal surgeon.
Oh, I stand colorected.
Yo, that's a lot of weight, Big Al. Let me give you a hand, Richie.
Louis and Richie spot Al on his lift and squat on either side of him.
You really teach Shakespeare to your students, Al?
Shakespeare, see spot and run is more their speed.
Oh, you know the play Hamlet, Richie?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, Hamlet. You had a tragic flaw.
Al successfully completes the squat, and the weight lands with a terrific thud on the bar.
Muka Saka.
Oh, whoa, big fella, impressive. Hamlet couldn't do that.
Speaking of proctologists, I need to see my guy next week after I see my podiatrist for my bunions and my dermatologist. I'm sick of looking at these warts.
We're sick of looking at them too.
Hey, Richie, I meant to tell you. Thanks for the recommendation to your cardiologist. Saw him last week.
How'd it work out, Lou?
No, I feel like I'm in the hallway of a nursing home, for Christ's sake. Bunch of altar cookies. We're in a gym. Jeez.
Hunker down, lift some weights, cut the bullshit.
Or go join the coffee clutch out on the stoop.
Those guys are always out there. I've never seen them work out.
I'm gonna smoke off them when I'm finished working my delts.
Break up their poker game.
A door to the landing on the fire escape outside the weight room is open. Peals of laughter from 4 older men smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee.
So guess who I rode up in the elevator with?
Ed Koch.
Nah, he comes into my restaurant all the time, though.
Oh, your restaurant.
No, it's another Big Al. Serpico. Al Pacino.
Oh.
Yeah, you know it.
Attica.
Yeah. So look, there's this businessman in a suit at the rear of the elevator, and Al gets on, and we're all cool, of course. We know Al doesn't like being looked at. He's got his head down, and his shoulders are all hunched, and this guy blurts out, "You Al Pacino?" We all cringe, as he does. Al just gives him this embarrassed shoulder shrugs, like, "Of course I am, dipshit." When it stops, he hops off off that elevator so fast it's a blur.
I see Jerry Orbach all the time.
Who?
He was in Prince of the City. I know a couple of extras who did a scene with him.
Hey, salami arms, what am I, chopped liver? I was in that movie too.
Richie goes over to Louis and fake punches him in the arm.
Wait, what did you call him?
He says my triceps are so overdeveloped they look like salamis hanging from my arm.
Salami arms. You're hysterical, Richard.
They do though, don't they? Who loves you, baby?
Yeah, I seen you in that episode, Richie. You and Telly, you were terrific.
He had to suck off the producer to get that part.
You jealous motherfucker, you. I told you that in confidentiality, remember?
Oh, I guess I forgot. Come here, I got something for you.
Yeah,
Arnie goes over to his backpack by the wall to retrieve something.
This better be good.
One of you invalids give me a spot over here.
I got you, Al.
Yeah, so listen to this, Royds. I go into the office to make my monthly payment, and they're discussing Big Al. It appears as if he never joined.
Get the fuck out of here. He's been coming here for how many years?
Yeah, for forever. The son of a bitch never paid. He comes in every day after school. The guys at the desk know him. They don't check him in and check his ID. He just struts in the elevator and up he goes. Nobody ever questioned him until the new guy. Gal.
Asshole. He's always lecturing me on ethics, this, integrity, that. Richie, remember, your integrity, it shows you everywhere, follows you everywhere. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I overheard next time he comes in, they'll have a security guard ask to see his ID.
Yeah, they may need more than one. I don't want to witness that.
Well, I do. Sweet revenge for all the shit I've taken from him all over the years.
Didn't he threaten to turn you in for possession once?
More than once. Oh, by the way, I have your stash. The buds are fantastic, and I got your favorite downers.
Hey, you two ladies better not be doing a drug deal over there. I'll bust your asses.
That's not all you'd like to do to my ass.
Oh, come here, you little twerp. I'll make you eat it.
Get a room, you two.
Think I'm heading for the steam, fellas.
Oh, is that an invitation, Richie baby?
You wish. You are so warped. But speaking of the steam room, I'm in there yesterday.
You
right?
go every day, Rich.
Thank you, Lou. Anyway, it's so steamy, can't see your hands in front of your face. Suddenly, from the depths comes this bass voice. Hello, Richard. I jump out of my skin, say, who is it? It's Marvin, Richard. Don't you remember?
Hello, Richard. So?
Nothing. I get the hell out of there. I have no idea who this guy is.
Bullshit. You're too embarrassed to admit it.
Yeah, you got to be careful, Rich. You can catch stuff in that steam room.
I wouldn't be caught dead in there. Bunch of pussies. Take a shower, go home.
You can catch stuff in there too, Al. Me, I just put on my duds and go home. Shower there.
Come on, Louis. That sounds like you can get the clap from sitting on the toilet, for God's sakes.
Yeah, you can. I'm kidding you guys, but athlete's foot, all kinds of germs you can get from those showers. Gross.
Yeah, God only knows what's growing inside the cab of your truck. Applying Prep H and all when you're behind the wheel.
Lou, tell me you didn't do it when you're driving.
I'm going to go bum a smoke from the poker players on the stoop. I think I did an audition with one of those guys. I want to know if you heard anything.
Richie takes a towel to his face and walks toward the fire escape.
So, Al, how long you been coming here, man?
Where? This gym? I don't know, years. Why?
Have they always checked ID at the desk?
To my knowledge, yeah. Why?
Not always, Al. They just started again since they fired that guy with the puke breath. You know, the one who let all his friends in for free.
They carded me today. I forgot my Y card, so I had to go in the office and get a pass.
Suddenly, there is a commotion out on the landing of the fire escape. Richie runs in yelling.
Call 911. Somebody get a phone and dial 911. Is there a doctor here? Anyone knows CPR?
From one of the benches on which a man is doing sit-ups.
Yes, I am, and I know how. Who?
This way, please hurry. I think this guy's having a heart attack. Everyone keep back. We need space out there. He needs air.
You cool, Rich? Can I do anything? Louis already went down a floor to use the payphone.
Just don't let anyone out on the stoop, okay?
Some shit, huh? Damn cigarettes will kill you.
Well, we don't know what it is, Al.
Well, it's been proven that...
Yeah, we know, Al. Nobody's recommended smoking is good for you. Except in that movie when the doctor in the future says, they used to think these were bad for you.
Hey, how are you asking me about how long I've been a member?
Louis returns from the floor below.
Man, that woman on 911 asked so many questions. I was like, cut the crap, lady, and get the ambulance here already.
So they're on their way? Good job, Lou.
Well, what happened? Anyway, did Richie say?
Thinks the guy was having a heart attack. He doesn't know. Lucky there was a doctor here.
Say that again? All right, this is not an ideal time, but it's been bugging me for a while.
Speak your mind, Big Al.
You and Richie, I mean, two of you are always making jokes about, insinuating your...
What, Al? Richie and I are what?
He's inviting you to the steam room, you put on his girly voice, and answer him like you're flirting with him. You guys always carrying on at that, and I just,
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Yeah, spit it out, Al. You're wondering if Richie and I are, come on.
Look, I'm just saying there's no place for that here. I saw two guys the other day in the steam room having sex.
Wait a minute, Al. You were in the steam room? I thought you said you'd never go in there.
Man, we got an epidemic going on in this country right now. It's not safe.
I cannot believe my ears. We got a possible heart attack going on a few feet away, and you choose now to ask if Richie and I are an item, if we what? To be fair to your terminology, swing that way? Are you for real?
Are you worried about their health, Al? Because I can tell you.
Yeah, Lou, exactly. There are too many good-looking young men going down.
Get off your high horse, school teacher. You going to tell us to wear condoms next?
Burp. I knew you'd take it the wrong way. Just forget it.
Look, not that it's any of your business, but since you brought it up, as only you can, I will only speak for myself because I know Richie will speak for himself. I am most definitely not of the persuasion to which you refer. We have this habit we fall into where we play a role, put on a gay personality, and riff on it.
Yeah, I get it. You guys are making fun, and I don't approve. I have a cousin just diagnosed with AIDS, and let me tell you, from what my aunt tells me, it's no picnic. That whole family is having a hell of a time coping. You really shouldn't do it, Arn.
Yeah, I hear you, Lou. I don't know who started it. Probably Richie. He's the actor.
You sounded awfully authentic to me.
Hey, Al, you never answered my question. What were you doing in the steam room?
Richie comes running back into the weight room. A siren can be heard getting louder.
This doctor is phenomenal. He did CPR like he knew what he was doing. He got a pulse.
Fantastic. I called 911. They should be here any minute.
What did I miss? I see some serious faces here.
Oh, just discussing your latent homosexuality. No big deal.
Well, what is the verdict? Am I or am I not?
All right, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. Cut it out, Richard and Arnold. Both of you. It's not funny, and it gives people the wrong impression. Like Al.
Nonsense. He's the biggest queer of all of us.
Oh, come here, you little shit for brains. I'm going to shut you up once and for all.
Yeah.
As Al advances towards Arnie, a loud siren makes everyone freeze. The elevator door to the weight room opens and a cavalcade of people get off. First, emergency medical services workers, then a security guard, police officer, and YMCA manager. The medical workers repair immediately to the landing on the fire escape. The other three remain in the weight room searching for a person. They approach Al.
Al Weiss,
Who wants to know?
would you provide us with your current YMCA card and or ID, please?
They're in my locker. You want me to get them?
No, that's okay. We can do that on our way downstairs. Since you answered to your name, I'm placing you under arrest for the battery and assault of a young man named Conrad at the Rawhide Bar in Chelsea last evening. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say can and will be used. Please place your hands behind your back.
You're making a big mistake. I want to call my lawyer. Get your hands off me.
Sir, please cooperate. Do I need to call for backup? You can make your call once you're at the precinct. You can deal with the YMCA later. Okay with you two?
Fine. Come on, Al. Don't make this any harder than it is.
Fuck you. You let me in every day. You're as guilty as I am.
We'll take care of our own security, Mr. Weiss. Our concern is with you. Officer, thank you.
Emergency medical workers carry the man who had a stroke on a stretcher to the elevator, hooked up to IV, while the security guard and police officer wait with Al in tow for the next ride.
Wow, that was a close call. Glad that I took that refresher course. Wow, what's going on in here? Never seen so much drama at the Y.
He collects his towel and knapsack and heads for the elevator.
So this guy, Al, he a friend of yours? He's got some balls, I'll say that. He's been coming to this gym for years and never paid his membership dues. Someone in the office downstairs said, what's he going to tell his students? And I said, what students?
No!
Get out.
Yeah, he's no English teacher. No teacher of anything, far as we know, given the background check we did. And a frequenter of the gay bar scene, apparently. Shame about the kid he beat up last night.
I hope that kid's family presses charges. He needs to go down. Scumbag.
Well, sorry to take your soulmate from you. I hear he is quite the weightlifter.
Yeah, the weight room will never be the same.
Listen, thanks for the help with the stroke victim. That was huge. I'll be downstairs.
She walks towards the elevator.
You wouldn't believe the conversation we had before the cops showed up, Richie. Unfucking believable.
What a piece of work is man.
He thinks we're an item, as in a couple. Takes our play a little too much to heart.
Aren't we? Be still my heart, it doth break.
Okay. See, Richie, that's exactly the kind of bullshit I was talking about. Save it for the stage, man.
Louis, what the hell?
I think you protest too much. Isn't that a quote? In any case, you do.
Are you? Is he serious?
Ask him.
Yes, Richie, I am. You know what I think? I think you're one of those guys who likes to have sex with women, but would rather hang out with men.
Where'd you come up with this?
A lot of men in my family fit that description.
Makes you an expert?
Don't insult him, man.
No, but I think it's hard for you to relate to the men you like without putting on that act.
Wow, Arnie. We have ourselves a truck driver turned shrink.
Damn, Louis, where you been hiding all this time? Who knew?
I believe I was on my way to get some steam before my psychoanalysis.
Just being honest with you, Richie. Hey, who loves you, baby?
He's allowed to have his opinion, Royds. Hey, say hi to Marvin for me.
You asshole. You surprised me, Louis. Later, Gators.
Yeah.
Richie picks up his towel and heads for the elevator. Louis gives Arnie a spot for his bench presses. And scene.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
The
That was a
rawhide was my
journey.
Guys.
the rawhide was my neighborhood bar when I was in my 20s when I lived in on 9th Avenue and 25th Street.
Yeah.
That was my local.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So, Mark, the initial feedback was what? What were the questions that you had? Can you please repeat?
Well, was it entertaining, and would they be curious to know what the other 3 episodes are?
Okay.
This is only one of the 4.
Was it entertaining, folks?
Yes. Very
I
much
was in
so.
it. I was entertained.
I was entertained when I was reading it.
Very entertained. The beginning was another one where I kept having to mute in between the backstage directions because I was, you 4 together. I mean, your writing, obviously, Mark, was great, but these 4 were perfectly cast too. I could watch the 4 of them banter
Great job.
all day.
It's hilarious. Well done.
It was a lot of fun. Okay. So the other 4, so what is, again, I don't think this one had the other big event here. Anyone know? 1984?
Well, HIV coming, AIDS, I'm assuming.
AIDS, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. It just was kind of lurking everywhere. It was constant, it was everywhere.
Except in the White House, but that's another story.
Except, and that's in one of my other pieces where one of the characters. Yeah.
So that said, how is it handled here? It is the big event. It's one of the things that keeps the quartet of plays connected. The thing that I like about it is that it's spoken about. It sets you in a time and a place, but it is not the main action. It's secondary even, which makes it even more eerie to me. Having lived through that period of time, especially at this point, it was a newspaper headline. It was, I know somebody who knows somebody. What did you guys think?
I agree with you. I feel like so many times when the topic is addressed, it immediately gets really heavy, obviously, because it was awful. But to have it in this way, where it's a group of people who aren't necessarily, or at the beginning, you don't think any of them are actually being directly affected by this, and have them talking about it to put you in that time and place, I thought it was interesting. And I wondered if this was one of the first ones or where it falls within the 4.
It's number 4, actually. but
Really?
I could switch the order. Yeah, the first one is 4 well-to-do people in an upscale retirement home playing bridge. I have a scene on the Lower East Side at a bar, and then I have 4 stagehands backstage at the Plymouth Theater in 1984.
In the bowels of the Plymouth Theater.
The bowels of the Plymouth Theater in 1984. So, but I have
Any
the
other
AIDS theme in each of them. Yeah.
Any other comments on that? Okay, let's talk about, go ahead, Arnie the rat.
Yeah, I like the way it's handled in this play, in this section in particular, especially with these guys. And I really liked how you incorporated this kind of, it's interesting to me that the, these guys kind of play gay with each other, or have this kind of little game that goes on with each other. I remember the gyms back at that time had, some gyms, I don't know the Y, the Y, yeah. I mean, I didn't experience the Y, but also knowing that the gyms, especially in the city, especially, I don't know exactly where this one is in the city, but that the weight room would be very mixed as far as, gay and straight men, and straight men, especially in Manhattan, would tend to be, okay and relaxed around having gay men, there with them. So it felt natural to me, that these guys would have that kind of banter going back and forth. And I love that it left you kind of questioning, well, do any of them really have any tendencies? And then when it comes out about Al, hanging out the Rawhide bar, and, that's kind of like, oh,
Who takes his self-hatred and shares it with everyone.
Yeah. So I thought you handled that really, really well.
Okay. It's interesting, Mark. I'm just thinking about it now, but I come from a big family, and my brothers were all weightlifters. And they used the word faggot all the time. Whenever they wanted to, they apologized when I came out to them. They were like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that how I made you feel when I said that." But they used it as a term of, being less than a man.
Mm.
And that's just something to think about, especially, growing up in the 70s and the 80s. That's a word I heard a lot by straight men to
put down other straight men,
diminish other straight guys. Let's talk about popcorn moments. What were the things that stayed with you? Turns of phrases, imagery. What were the things that you liked? Go ahead, Miley Binion.
I never thought I would laugh and enjoy that long of a conversation about hemorrhoids. But the whole thing was so funny. And the whole time I was laughing, I was like, I can't believe this is still going on, and I'm okay with it, and I just want more. But it's definitely a popcorn moment.
That's one of the first rules of comedy. Hemorrhoids are guaranteed hilarity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I never knew, but it was correct.
Yeah.
I will say I agree. I thought it was fun, but I did want, because we're in a gym and we're doing they're doing all these weights or whatever, like the pun, like when you say roids, I'm assuming you mean like steroids.
Yeah.
And
no.
I almost want that to be sort of like part of it. Like, what are you talking about? I don't do fucking steroids. I'm talking about whatever. Like things come out.
Yeah, I got to enjoy that, but I think it was because I just saw the name before they started and immediately thought they were joking he was on roids. But that would be fun to play with if it was actually in the script too. I agree, Baron.
Okay. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, as I agree, the opening is hilarious. The one play I'm not in, I'm trying to eat some dinner while it's starting. I have to put my dinner down because I'm like, oh, yeah. Like it's so funny, and also like the imagery. I'm like, I can't eat right now.
Mark, you ruined his meal.
I ruined his dinner.
No appetite, Dad. Thanks. No, but I want to commend you on also just the setting, like a weightlifting room. I don't recall any play that I know. Like there are some locker room plays, like the championship season, but I don't know of any that take place in an actual weight room gym. And it's very fertile ground for like a lot of comedy and drama to happen, which does. And so I commend you for finding this fertile ground to play with. And I also love like when they need a doctor, there's a doctor working out there. He's like, oh, I can do it. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
There's always a doctor working out somewhere.
Doctor
Yeah.
security.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Doctor security.
totally. Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I have the advantage of having heard the other plays. What's unique about this one is that the event, the heart attack, takes place off stage, and you don't see it. You just see all the, Richie's reaction and excitement about it, and the EMTs coming in and out, and everything around that, So I thought that was a really interesting and effective choice too. That it didn't happen in the middle of the scene; it happened off stage.
I just have a technical note about that scene. You don't ever have a stage direction where Louis leaves. It's only in the conversation afterwards that we find out he's gone.
Oh,
so
right.
the first time we were reading it, I was still on camera until somebody said that. So
Right.
whenever Louis leaves, you just need to add that note in the stage directions.
There was the
There's
same
no-
with my exit. Like it says that I'm waiting for the elevator, but it never actually says that we actually get in the elevator.
And one more, Mark, when Richie goes back and when he says, just don't let it, we need space, don't let anyone out here, and he leaves, it doesn't say that he's left.
It doesn't say that he's left. Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta fix those. Yeah.
But those are, those are
No,
That's the
tiny, tiny
technical.
things.
Yeah.
Technical things.
Go ahead,
This
Miley.
Sorry, I know I keep talking about. I just thought you did a really great job of. I feel like I even in modern days I've known men like this, men that are just kind of hyper masculine and obsessed with the gym. And in this play, it's a perfect example. I feel like men like this can be simultaneously very close with each other in ways that, but also homophobic. I'm trying to verbalize this in the way I think, but at the same time, they'll play and be open-minded, and you'll think how close their relationship is and how intimate it is, and at the same time be homophobic and terrified of being actually accused of being gay. And I still see that today.
Yeah.
Like I watched some of these like super buff straight men, and then they're just watching wrestling, and the way they talk about and mess with each other, it's so intimate. But God forbid you talk to those men about being bi or anything with their sexual orientation, and then they lock up and freak out. And I thought this played with that a lot, and it was interesting.
I think you can describe that kind of as a hyper masculine brotherhood. They see it as a
Yes.
brotherhood, but as soon as you inject anything sexual or romantic into it, the wall goes up.
Exactly. Even though it's pretty romantic, the way they touch each other and talk.
It's very bromantic, yes.
Romantic, yes. I needed the two Davids to verbalize.
To expand that, it's also one of those things where you go in and you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't walk into a gym and see these guys who are built up and whatever, and all of a sudden they're talking about Shakespeare and they're talking about, hemorrhoids and all. You can't. Yeah, people are complex, and one of the things this play shows us is that even these guys who are trying to create an exterior that is monstrous have insecurities, have devils that haunt them, that have a vocabulary, that they act different from how they appear, and that in this particular one especially, that comes out, and I enjoy that about it.
There's no
Nick.
sports banter in this either.
No, it's all about hemorrhoids and
hemorrhoids and Shakespeare and and
dermatology.
Al
Yeah,
I love the Al Pacino moment. That was a popcorn moment for me.
Yeah.
Where everybody,
I have an Al Pacino story, but I'm not going to share it because Nick wants to say something.
I feel slight because I feel like everyone is so effectively already have said how I feel. I just find it was so engaging, and like the different what we're talking about with like that locker room talk, or that like hypermasculinity, or sometimes even toxic masculinity like being displayed, and then like the homophobia underneath it, and how everything is fine and dandy until like that one thing with the backdrop of like the AIDS crisis. Like and there's so many things are happening, and it's funny because like literally someone's having like a heart attack / stroke off stage, and that's not even like that's literally like a thing that's happening, but it's not what we're focused on. And the fact that like this banter is so easy and so delicious that like we could watch them talking for hours. Like I was just like, yes, more, give me more. It's just very effective. Yeah.
And these guys like who is it? Big Al, come in one day and they've shrunk. All of a sudden they're thinner, they're more gaunt. And this is a guy who is like, motherfucker, fucking faggot and all that. And he's coming in and he's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. That happened, and all of a sudden they're gone. And no one knew it because it wasn't how they expressed their outwardly. Really terrifying time in the history of the world. But I really do. Again, it's about surface. It's about how you want to be perceived, and then who you really are, and who do you let see who you really are. Most of the time, are your close friends. Yes, Laura.
I wanted to add on to that because I think we were all struck with the humorous exchange between the men. They've known each other for years, probably worked out for hours, as people like that do. There was I thought, the hemorrhoid conversation was great, but I felt that it established an honesty between the friends that made us realize, there's a camaraderie here. They share everything, like somebody else said, from Shakespeare to talking about warts and doctors and whatnot. So that felt to me like, to share about your warts and your doctor appointments. These guys have known each other for a long time. I felt like that was setting us up for the deception about Al not being honest with them about who he is on so many levels, not paying his gym membership, and kind of picking on the other guys. And then we find out that, he's homophobic because he probably himself is homosexual and he's beating up people, in gay bars. So it set us up for just this real letdown in his character. And I wanted to find out a little bit more about Al. Like, is he fussy about his hair? Because it's obvious that he pumps a lot of weight. So I'd love to know, does he wax? Does he wax the hair? Is he fussy about it? Does he have the long 80s to the shoulder thing?
Oh God!
Blonde? About that, so we can get a little bit picture of Al. And then that lets us down even more. The one thing I want to say, and I don't know if it's a different order that we're supposed to say these things about, but the stroke, the heart attack, that's a big deal. That's like a big dramatic deal. So I'm not sure why something that heavy happened then. And I know that, somebody mentioned it was off stage, but I'm not sure what the purpose was for that, except for that Al comes out and says, hey, are you guys gay? And you even say it. So I'm like, I'd love to know what you were thinking. Is you're like, of all the times right out of the blue, how come you're going to ask us now? If, so I want to know too, why now? Why, so just food for thought.
Great.
That's very interesting.
Great insight.
The thing that I liked about that, Laura, that it is like a secondary thing, is that's what happens in our lives. I'm walking down the street, someone gets hit by a car. I'm like, holy God. And I see that people are taking care of it. And I walk away and I look back and I keep on going. And then all of a sudden, like 6 degrees of separation, it becomes the story I tell.
Right.
That it didn't affect me, except, this character, Richie, it obviously, it showed his true colors. He bolted into action. He made sure that, he called for a doctor. He made sure an ambulance was called. He told everyone to stay away. he like took control of the situation. And this is an actor. This is a guy who, I find interesting that it was him who had the wherewithal to do all this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I had a lot of the same questions about my character, like, is he homophobic? Or is he asking, because he's asking them, and then he's like saying there's this plague out there or whatever. So it's like, is he actually like asking them because he's concerned about their health? Or is he asking them because he wants a threesome? Or, and like, did he beat up the guy in the bar because of something other than, maybe they just got in a fight. Like, it doesn't, so where was that falling, I guess, is what I was sort of trying to, figure, and why is he lying? And why is he like, I guess everything about his life is a lie, right? I mean, he's not really teaching. He's not really, doesn't really have a membership, et cetera, et cetera. So where's all of that, And I don't know that it has to be a huge thing, but, I think it has to.
Good point.
No, and Mark, just to address that, as we talk about in class, make those decisions about your characters and understand all that about your character. It doesn't need to come out, but the way they deal with other people is definitely affected by those things, right? So make a decision about what happened in the altercation with Conrad in the bar. Make a decision about why he is asking if these guys are gay. And then you'll hear those lines differently, and you may change something so that it's a little bit more honest about that.
Correct.
Or that he's just putting up a wall and not dealing with it.
Great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. And just keep asking yourself that question.
Yeah.
Those
Knowing
questions.
all about your characters doesn't mean that all has to come out on a page. It just means that when they're interacting with other people, you want them to be as honest to who they are, whether they are embracing or denying a situation. You want it to ring true.
Right.
And if you don't know those answers, sometimes those things end up being a little muddy. But those are easy fixes. You know these characters now. You can make that decision. All right. I hope that was helpful.
Really helpful. I want to give one credit to John Wiggins, who changed the line, and I burst out laughing every time he says it.
I know which one.
He changed it. It used to be, I stand corrected. And I guess when John was looking at the play for the first time, he read it out loud. He went, I stand colorected.
Yes.
So thanks. That was great. And I kept
a pleasure.
You have to use that. Yes.
Very funny.
So fantastic. Again, Ben, if you'll put and Mally, if you will put the feedback link and post it, please, everyone out there in the ether, everyone out in YouTube land, and some of you who are here who just might have been, wanting to get your thoughts collected before you said something, use the feedback link. It will automatically post as part of the forum that I have, and I will give all that feedback to the playwrights. If you're a playwright or if you're not a playwright, you understand that feedback is the thing that we're here for. It's the thing that helps us understand our own plays and how what we've written on the page, is it connecting with the actors? Is it connecting with the audience? So it's really very important that they know how things went. And saying that, thank you so much. This was a really great lab, guys. To all the people who are new, people who are switching roles and acting instead of writing, or writing instead of acting, this was incredible. What a great night of theater, and thank you so much for being with us. We will again put up the link for making a donation. We are a 501c3. Whatever we do, those donations go directly towards our programming. We just finished Blurring Boundaries 2021. We're going to
It's still going for 2.5 days.
Oh, it's still going for 2.5 days. Please see it.
Watch it.
It is work by a lot of the people who come to the labs, by a lot of the people who act in the labs. It's an incredible festival, and it deserves to be seen. So please do, and you can give $1 and get to see it.
Or more.
or more. What else? We have a lab coming up to finish this quarter out. It is LAB47. That is going to be hosted by Carla Briscoe. She is a founder of New Ambassadors. She's also on the executive board. The featured playwrights right now are Jennifer Downs, who is my associate artistic director, a phenomenal writer and an actor, and Evan Edwards, who has been a part of the company for a while as a writer and as an actor. He is actually in the festival as a writer and an actor. And then the third writer, I'm keeping secret right now. I'm waiting for them to confirm with me, but it's a goodie. And we have a acting doodle. So if you want to act, we're going to put the acting doodle in the chat, and please sign up to be a part of the next lab. And then we also have, and I'm sorry I didn't give it to everyone, the writing link for the fourth quarter is on our website. It's also on Facebook. So go to those two places, sign up for a slot to present work. Those of you who are writers, if you've only been an actor with us and you're a writer anyway, please submit. You will get a slot and you will get your work presented. And this is basically what we do. It's all very supportive. It's a safe space, and it's to jazz you up, to let you know that what you're doing is right. It's on the right track, and to give you some momentum with it. We're going to also put the Blurring Boundaries link in the chats to make it easy for you. I can't say enough about Blurring Boundaries, but I will say that please go and see it within the next couple of days, or it will disappear. That's it. We are going. Oh, the newsletter. Yes, we have a newsletter link. Our new newsletter that Miley and I put together comes out every 2 weeks. And it has all the updates, all these links that I've spoken about. Those are listed.
All in one place.
All in one place. It also has whatever is new with the company. And this has been a pandemic that's been going on, and we've decided to just say, fuck you, pandemic. And we've been moving forward with a lot of programming. We've done radio plays. We've done Zoom series that are kind of like soap operas called the Corona Chronicles. The Great Escapism are the radio plays. We have done labs. We have done Friday Night Footlights. We have a Friday Night Footlight coming up next week, Liaison Dangereuse. So that is for everyone to come and tune into. That's going to be in the newsletter on Monday, as well as being a part of the company in any way possible. We love it when new people come and join us. We like as many people involved as possible, because that means we're doing something right. So thank you for a great lab. Thank you, actors, for lending your talent. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed the lab tonight. And that said, I want to thank Mally, come on back on. I want to thank Ben Dworken, company member who handles the Zoom aspect of this, and Mally Reber, who is our production stage manager, who also handles the YouTube, which is not the easiest thing to do because I've done it. I'd like to thank you, Miley Binion, for coming back on just short notice to come and read stage directions. And of course, all the talent that we had tonight. Really appreciate it. I'm going to sign off, and we're all going to say goodbye, 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 goodbye. I have to do this side.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And join us again on the October, when is it?